Welcome class. Today we will discuss about dictionary type, predefined functions, and we will have more operations on it, apply for loop, more interview questions around it, and how AI ML uses dictionary. So those are the topics to discuss today. And in the end we will discuss in AI ML work how exactly it is useful. So you write the definition of dictionary first. A dictionary is a collection which is unordered, mutable means we can change it. The value of dictionary can be changed like list and indexed through keys. So instead of indexing ordered indexing, we have key value pair here. And in Python, dictionary are written with curly brackets and they have key value pair. So how exactly it look like? You need to use curly braces first, then key and then value. So this will consider a single element. It will have a key and value. So like we have indexing in our any book, correct? Each key will have its value where we will use colon separated by colon. Let's suppose if we want to create a dictionary, let's say D1 equals to um, name colon Rohan, right? And comma next key is age, let's say colon 30. Right. So there are two elements here. One is this and one is this. So complete pair will be considered as single element. So when it comes to AI/ML, in AI/ML applications, we constantly work with key value data. Right. For example, feature name. So I have given one example here. Like you have a set of features where age, name, salary, or let's say if you are applying a model on certain data type. It consists of, let's say, employee data, which is structured data, right? So in machine learning, there are two types of data we usually work with. One is structured data, which have a proper structuring, right? It has a table, column versus value, and another type is unstructured data, where we have string type of data. Where, for example, the complete chapter of our book, right? Or maybe a paragraph of your book. So that will be unstructured data. So we will be working with both. But here, the major uses of dictionary is on structured data. Then if you see here, hyperparameter configurations. So let's say some configuration you want to set, then you can use in key value pair. So for example, LR value or maybe batch size. If you want to process your request in batch or you want to train your model with the batch size, let's say if I want to train model um, uh, let's say 32 frames or 50 frames. So you can have configurations. Then counting word frequency, this is most useful, right? In fact, for string also we have done it. So each word, how many times it's there, you can have a key here. So the example is, let's say you have a sentence. This is a pen, right? Then full stop, pen is black. For example, this is your sentence, right? And I want to know how many times of each word is available in the sentence, the frequency of each word. So we can do that, right? We can consider one word as a key, and this key will be unique, right? And then we can increase the counter as soon as we iterate through the words. So the simplest approach is you will be splitting it into a list, and then you will be iterating through it, create a key of each word. If you found the same word again, then you increase the counter. So that is the simplest algorithm we use. So that is one of the example where we try uh, where we use dictionary. Then caching results of expensive computations. This we will see memorization. Right. And there is a very beautiful structure in JSON object where we have in REST API calls. So when any client and server talk to each other or any server to server communication. So let's say they want to talk to each other, app one, or for example, in this system, there is a app one, right? And this is app two, and they want to talk to each other via REST API. Then they will use JSON type data, and JSON is nothing, it's again key value pair. So this looks similar. So there is a lot of use case in AI ML where you will be converting your JSON data into dictionary or dictionary to JSON object, and that is the easier to handle here. Then this is something where we expect from seniors to know about the dictionary, how dictionary works under the hood. So we will be talking about hashing and collision in next class. Today we will discuss about the very basics of dictionary. Right. Then how exactly time complexity trade-offs when we use list over dictionary or when we use dictionary. So there are different data structure we follow, and there are some dynamic programming also support. So when it comes to time complexity, comparatively when you use dictionary is faster based on the usage. We will see some examples. Then this is something very advanced topics. We will be learning about default dict and counter and order dict. These are the advanced dictionary available in our collections, and we will be using them for more optimal solutions. Right. And these are the common pitfalls we will be talking about: mutable default arguments and modifying while iterating. So, all right. So now let's move to programming part. I'll create a dictionary, which is empty dictionary. Right. So there are two ways to create dictionary. Let's say D1 is a variable, and you can create blank dictionary like this. If I say print D1 and its type, right, type of D1, then see the output here. It's a blank and it belongs to dictionary class. And if I want to print the length of D1, which is 0 as of now, right, so 0. So in this way, you can create a dictionary, a empty dictionary. There is another way also available. D2 equals to dict. So this is the class, dict class, and you can create a blank dictionary. Both ways are same. This also, like, you can do in this way or you can do in this way. But professionally we use this one because this gives more readable code to us. Right? Sometime when we are going through the large code, and if we define the proper type of the variable or the class, then we will be easily able to understand, okay, this variable belongs to this, instead of using type again and again, right? So type is basically uh, we use when we are trying to debug something, or if we want to put a control. Let's say your input type should be this. Let's say one example. If I say if type of D1, right, equal to type of D2, so something like this. So you can check if both are same type, then only I will process the request, or I'll process the business logic. So you can put a control in this way, or you can check the type of the data and then you perform the operation based on that. So this is one way when we are creating a blank dictionary, and you can add key value to it that I will tell later. Let's initialize some values. Let's say I'll create D3, and which will have some values. For example, here name is key, Alice is value, age is key again, 30 is again value, same here. Right? So we have three pairs. One is this, then this, then this. So if I will print now D3 and its type and length, so D3 is the entire dictionary which you have initialized, and the type of D3 will be dictionary, right? Class dic, and the length of D3 is 3 because there are three key value pair available into dictionary. Now let's understand how we can initialize in this when you are using dict class. And you can do in this way. Let's say I create a D4, then which is dict, right? So you can pass like variable and its value, and it will consider it automatically. So let's say name equal Rohan, and age is 25, city Delhi. And when I say print, so comma, 1 second, I think here, okay, equal to 25, then city equals Delhi. So if I now print um, D4, type of D4, length of D4, then this is also same. So it will create a key value pair which you are passing as argument into this class. So the suggestion is for the best practices, if you are creating a blank dictionary, create in this way. If you are initializing, if you are initializing with some values, then this can be a good way comparatively, and this is also another way. So you can pass variable versus value, right, to the dictionary class. This is a constructor. I will discuss it in object oriented programming, and it will automatically create the key and value into dictionary form. So both the ways are same, just the syntax is different. So till this point, we have initialized the dictionary, and now time to access the values using key. So very simple way, you let's say print, and I want to access the value of name, right? Then you can pass key into square bracket, similar like we use indexing for list or tuple. Similar way you can pass key here. So if we see the similarity here, so let's say you have a list L1, right? 1, 2, 3. It have indexing 0, 1, 2, right? And in dictionary D1, it has key for accessing the element. Let's say name Rohan. Now, if I want to access element in list, what I did? L1 index 0. And if I want to access the value of name, similar way, like D1, then square bracket, pass key here. Then you will be able to access this value, the respective value. So this is the simplest way where you pass the key of any key value pair, and then you will get the value of that. If you see, this is the output, Alice and 25. Okay, for D4. Right. So you can accessing the value is same way, even if you are initializing in this way or this way. Ultimately, we are creating dictionary in both the cases. So you can access values like this. Let's say I want to access D4 of name, D4 of name. Right. So you can access it. And there is another way also available. You have a predefined function where you can pass that. Let's say um, print dv dot get. So, and in this get, you pass key, for example, name. So now the output will be Alice, right? So this is also another way to access the element using key. The difference is we are using a built-in function get method here, and here we are using directly a square bracket. But the problem in this method, if I pass any key which is not available, let's say D3 DOB. So in D3 dictionary, there is no DOB key available. Right? Now, if I run this program, then it returns a error. It says key error because this key is not available. But in case if you use the same statement with get d3 dot get, then what happens? Then it returns none. I'll just comment it. So it returns none. So instead of raising an error, we can define in our program saying that, okay, I am fetching the value using this key. If it is not available, then how I'll define my control? I'll say a d3 dot get dob is none. If this is the case, then I'll say key dob is not exist. Right? So this code is more readable and we are able to handle error properly. In this case, error handling is bit tedious because we have to use here exception handling. So the better way is this one. This is a professional way you will get in your code when you are writing with AI also. Now let's understand the type of keys we can have. So keys must be hashable, immutable type, where we can use key as integer, float, string, tuple, Trojan set. This we will discuss in coming lectures. List, dictionary, and sets are not hashable. So we cannot use list or dictionary and sets for key. We only can use immutable type as key. But the value of any pair can be any type of object. Can be integer, float, string, tuple, anything. Right. So let's see this with this example. Let's say data. I have a variable data equals to. I'll create first key with integer type. 101 is my key. And let's say A is value. Then I will use floating type as key. So let's say 23.45 is key. Sorry, my 0.5 is key. Colon value can be B, right? Then I'll have a key of string type. Let's say name, as we have used earlier also, Deepak. Until this it is okay. And if I print data and the type of data, the output is correct. There's no problem into it. So now if I want to access the values, you can pass these keys. Now let's say I want to access A using 101 key. So you can do that. Data of 101. Similar way, data of 23.45, data of name. This is perfect. There's no problem into it. Why? Because the keys are immutable type. Now I will add one more key, which is list type. Let's say 1, 2, 3. And now the value is C. So now if I run this program, so the output is error, unhashable type. The meaning is you cannot use list as key. So this we have to remember whenever we are designing a program. Instead, if you have a tuple, that will work. So let's say if I have a tuple of 1, 2, 3, D, and I say we'll comment it, then it will work. In fact, you can access it. Data of the key is tuple of 1, 2, 3. So see the output. Similar way, you cannot use dictionary also as key. So let's say if I create a dictionary A of B, then the value of this is E, right? And if I run this program, the output is again error. So you cannot use dictionary also as key. Same goes for set also. So frozen set you can use. Set and frozen set we will discuss in detail in coming lectures. But this is the way you can create any dictionary, and remember, do not use mutable type as key. Value can be anything. So in fact, let's say I want to create the list of names here. So I'll create another key, names. Okay, this is different key. That is name, right? And I'll create names here. Rohan, Deepak, Alice, this way. So now if I run this program, this also will work. The value can be any type. Now let's say this is one dictionary info, which is having name, age, city, DOB as key. And I use get method. Let's say info dot get. I'll pass a key which is available. So available key is name, and I'm getting the value Rohan. You can write your logic. Let's say if info dot get name equal to Rohan, or based on your business logic, you can define your control and then you can write the business logic. Now, one good thing in get is, let's suppose if I'm passing a key which is not available. So let's say info dot get, and key is, let's say, mobile number, mobile, which is not available. So earlier we got none. You can define a default value to return here. Let's say in case I don't want none, I want something else. So you can return a default value also. For example, not available is a default value you are passing. So if you are passing in this way, so instead of getting none, you will get not available or the data which you are passing here. Okay. It doesn't mean we are creating a key. It means we are checking for this key mobile, and this is not available. Due to that, I'm returning a default value. So now this can go in this way. Let's say data equal to, I'll copy this, info.get mobile, and I'm passing not available here. I say if data equal not available, we can write condition this way. So this is also something people use it most frequently, and pass default value to the key. If this key is available, then the behavior will be different. Let's say if I create a key mobile and the value of mobile is, let's say, something, and now if I run this program, the output is this, right? And this statement will execute, but this return false because the value is already available. That is why it is not printing mobile number is not available. I can write else condition to it. So in this case, we will get else condition. Mobile number is available. So mostly what happens is when you are creating a dynamic dictionary, you write these kind of checks. So sometime if there is a missing information or the key is missing, you can check it and then you can write your logic within to that control statement. Else you can write the else part. So now let's understand what is set default. So how set default work? It returns the value if key exists. Else insert default and return it. In get, we are not inserting, right? We are just returning a default value in case key is not available. In set default, it will insert also. For example, if I say info dot set default and let's say email is key and default, I'll say, let's say admin@gmail.com. And then if I now let's see, let me print it, print info. So see the output. Okay. Email key is created. And in fact, if I print this, let's say print, then the output is value. So what will happen is if key is not available. So let's understand in this way. If key is available, then it returns the value of that because already available. If key is not available, in that case, it set the value, it create the key value pair into your dictionary and then it returns the value. That is the difference between set default and get method. So in interview, the question they usually ask about the difference between get and set default. So this is one of the example you can expect. So keep this with you. There is an advanced topic called defaulting, and that will give more enhanced version of this problem. So now let's consider this. Data have a list of tuple where there are two values, ID. Let's say one first value is ID, then 101 is the ID value, then again key value, key value. So mostly how when we got this kind of data, when you're loading from Excel sheet or you're creating a data frame out of that for each record, or you're loading something from database, or some other system is calling your functions and they are passing some data sets to you. So you can convert the entire data set in dictionary this way. Let's say D1 equals to dict, and within that you pass it. You can convert this list into dictionary and print D1. See the output? The whole data frame converted into dictionary. This is the one of the beauty here in Python. So in case we have a list of values here, list of list, then let's say we have IDs and couple of IDs we are capturing, then this will become a key and this will become value. And you can convert the entire data set into dictionary. So if I run this, then the output is this. So you can convert your entire list into dictionary, but you should make sure that there is a key and value. Both are available. In case if anything is missing, let's say in this, if I remove IDs, now there's a single object, right? So this will give an error because it iterates for the second level of nested. It will not go to third level. Okay, so this will consider a single object. That is the problem. So now we need a key. So key can be, let's say, IDs, comma. So you need to make sure whenever you are creating a list or tuple within that and you want to convert it into dictionary, it will consider one nested. Another nested will not be considered as the key, right? So now there is another way we use in our practice. Let's suppose we have set of keys available. For example, let's say this is my variable keys, where keys are ID, employee name, employee age, employee city, which is a list of keys. Now I want to create a dictionary with default values. That is one way, or you can assign values to it. So how we can do that? We will assign default value first to each key. So D1 equals to dict dot from keys, and you pass the list of keys here. Then it create the dictionary with default value. So if you see here, default value is none as of now because I haven't passed anything. I can pass also. So let's say I'll pass 0. So all the keys will be initialized with this value using from key method. So this is one of the way when you have list of keys and you don't have any value, you can create the dictionary with default values. Later on, you can change. How you can change that? Keys of, let's say, ID. So ID, I'll assign value to it. Now I got the value Rohan. Then again, if I print D1, okay, so this is D1. D1 dictionary of ID is, let's say, 101. And I say D1 of employee name is Rohan. So I have assigned couple of values to each key, and these keys are not having any value. In this case, ID will have 101, employee name will have Rohan, and the remaining key values here will have default value to it. So in this way, dynamically you can assign or change the value of each ID. Now let's suppose if I got again name, employee name. So D1 employee name, and if I assign Deepak to it, now it will not create the another key. It will update Rohan from Rohan to Deepak. So key will be unique. Once you have assigned a key, it will have one value to it. Now you can change the value of that key. You cannot create duplicates key. Okay. That is the good point in dictionary. Okay, now we have couple of predefined functions available in dictionary, like in string, list, tuple. We had different types of functions. In dictionary also we have couple of functions. For example, let's say I want to get all the keys. Then you have info dot keys. So this dot keys method will return a list of all available keys. So this is a list of all keys, right? And if you want only values, then there is one predefined function available, values. So it will return you only values. Keys will return only keys, values will return all values. And if you want both, then there is a called items. This is the function. And once you call it, you see here, we did the reverse of that in previous example. So it returns you the list of tuple combination having key value pair. So these are the three different predefined functions. Based on your requirement, you can use. And in case if you want to iterate through the dictionary, you can use for loop. Right? For key in info, or I'll not use this key variable name. I'll use something else, maybe item, for example. Right? Then if I print item here, so the default behavior of loop is in dictionary, you will get the list of keys. So that is the default behavior of for loop here. If you are using in this way, so you are iterating the dictionary one by one, and for each item it returns the keys. Now if I want value of that key, then I need to print in this way, right? Info dot get, you can pass item here. So item is nothing, it's a key. So you will get key versus value, key versus value. So it iterates through each of the element or key value pair, and then access key from that, and using key we are accessing the value. So this is the one way. Another way is you can use like keys, right? I'll create in this way for key in info dot keys. What it will return? It return a list of keys. Then you can iterate through this. Print key info dot get keys, right? Each key we are getting. And let's suppose if you want to use this values predefined function, you can say for v in info dot values. Then if I print v, it will give you the each element, the values only, not keys, because I have used dot values. And the one of the best way is you want to iterate both together, then use items. Key value in info dot items, then you will be able to get the key and value together. So most common way is this we use, because sometimes we need both key and values. If you need only keys, then you go ahead with these keys. So these are the two ways we most frequently use. So in next lecture, we will discuss some advanced topics of dictionary, interview questions, best practices used in AI/ML applications. Thank you for watching.